Go. Hey y'all, Texas Deb here and Josie. What are we doing today?
Making soap.
Out of what? Barrett, come help us. What are we gonna make?
No, he's not in here. We want to make, out of line.
Lye.
Lye.
But first we have to make the lye. So we've got our mixture here. Ooh. We've got our mixture here of water and wood ash, and we're going to try and bring it to a boil. And once we bring it to a boil, we're going to strain it into a jar, and then we're going to reduce that lye water to a higher concentration so it'll make soap. And we'll be making a really small batch just to see if we can get the hang of it. This is about 6 cups of ash and about 8 cups of water. Alright, so we've taken a jar and put some cheesecloth on it, and we're draining that lye water into the jar, and we're ladling it from the pot. So I've wanted to try to make lye soap from scratch for ages because I know this is how our ancestors would have done it. So we had a very small portion of ash, and it was really an experiment. So the lye water went okay. In order to get a proper concentration of the lye water, you have to really reduce it and reduce it and reduce it down to about 1/4 of its volume. And then once you do that, you should be able to pour it into a jar, about a cup of it into a jar, and then as it cools, or after it cools, you put a raw egg in there, and the raw egg will float but only show about 1/4 size of the egg floating in the open air. So the rest of the egg should be submerged. So with our lye water, we got our concentration right and actually had to leave the small portion that we were able to get out overnight. But where we went wrong was when we actually started this soap making. Now with the soap making, we put the oil in there. I think I had my oil to lye ratio wrong. Was really looking hopeful, bubbled up. I thought we were really getting to that saponification process. But then what we ended up was burning off all the liquid, and just ended up with some oil, burnt oil, which smelled really, really bad. So we're gonna try it again. We might try commercial lye, which is a little bit different chemical composition, but we'll give it a try here pretty soon, or we'll just burn down a bunch of wood and try it again with a larger amount of ash. Historically, what would have been done is the ash would have been collected, they would have poured hot water into it, and then slowly over time, through drainage, leached the lye water through the ashes, and just sort of as a passive process would have gotten that perfect concentration. But since this was an experiment, we were trying to move fast and trying to work with what we had, this is what we got. So it really tells you something about planning ahead and using all of your resources, right? So the campfire cooks your food, but the ash can be used for soap, but not soap right now, but soap over time. Go.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.
Click subscribe.